Hi friends, it's Holly Jones from Mrs. Jones Stitches. Welcome to my Flosstube. Today is Saturday, May the 24th, 2025, and I'm happy you're joining me today. This is Flosstube number 56, and this is a channel about cross stitch. So I talk about things I'm working on, plans I'm making, color conversions, I share FFOs, things I bought, all sorts of things. So welcome if you're new here. I've had a ton of new subscribers over the last couple weeks, so welcome. I'm so glad you're joining me today. Make sure you like the video and subscribe so you're not going to miss out on anything. It's been about 2 weeks since I filmed a traditional floss tube. However, in that 2-week time, I've also filmed 2 kind of special edition type things. One was how to build your color and cotton stash. One of the things I get asked about a lot is, you know, you want to start stitching with something different, whether it's color and cotton or another floss that you like, and where do you get started? So I filmed a video called Build Your Color and Cotton Stash, and basically I show you some of my favorite colors from color and cotton and the ones that I kind of think are essential to my stash. I tend to use a lot of the same color palettes and just kind of reimagine things here and there. But anyway, so feel free to watch that one. And then my previous video was a Q&A. So in Flosstube number 55, I asked you to leave me a comment and ask me a question if there was anything that you were really dying to know. And let me tell you, you guys really hit hard with the questions. So I got all sorts of things from how do I store my floss? When did I start stitching? What do I like to stitch? How do I bury my thread so you don't see the tail? All the way up to how did I meet my husband? What is my full-time job? There was a whole gamut of things. And it was kind of a funny thing in there too. I had told my husband that I opened my channel up for questions, and then I was going to film a video about about answering questions. And he got on and left a comment, and it was like, how much money do you spend monthly on your cross stitch? And I was like, wouldn't you like to know? Anyway, so that tickled my funny bone. So anyway, so we'll kind of go ahead and get started. I feel like I have a lot to share, but then it's kind of like once I write it down, it doesn't really feel or look like that much. So I really don't know how long this video is going to run. So it'll kind of be a surprise to both of us. So I have something really exciting in the works. I don't think I'm going to share it right now, but I'll probably share it in the next couple of weeks. But I'm really, really excited about it. It involves going somewhere. So I'll just leave that there, but it's going to be a great time, and I hope you'll come with me. So, okay, so I'll just hop right into kind of my whips and what I'm working on. So my friend Nichol Spohr and I are hosting a stitch along. We are stitching Mary Bovee by Stacy Nash. And we've talked about it on our channels, but I'll show it to you. This is what it looks like. We had taken a trip to the Silver Needle and back in February, and we saw this model. Now, this picture doesn't do it justice. We saw the model and it was gorgeous. And we were like, we want to stitch that. Let's do a stitch along. So I had started it, and I think I talked about it in my previous video, or maybe I shared it on Instagram. I can't remember. But I was stitching on a darker linen, and I'll be honest, the weave was really tight. It wasn't looking the way I wanted to. I stitch on 32 count, and the weave was really tight, kind of like a 36. I was having to use one strand. I don't like stitching with one strand unless I'm stitching with sulky floss. It was just really not enjoyable for me to work on. So I switched my fabric. I am still using the same floss palette, excuse me, and it has made all the difference. Oh my gosh, I have the hiccups now. Okay, it has made all the difference. So here is my restart. Where's my board? I don't have it. Okay, we'll just put this behind it. Here's my restart. This is Vintage Pearled Barley from Lakeside. I love it. It is a really warm gray. It's so beautiful. So I've done the border over here, and I'm working on the inside border, the alphabet, and then I've kind of carried on this way. So I'm making good progress. There's somebody in one of Nicole's Facebook groups already has finished theirs, and theirs looks great. So we've really enjoyed seeing everybody's progress on it. I know some people are doing their own color conversions, and I'm here for it. I love color conversions. I love seeing what people reimagine a pattern in to make it fit their aesthetic or make it fit a certain season or anything like that. I really believe, you know, depending on the motifs and stuff that are in the chart, you can really take any chart and make it look seasonal or holiday-ish strictly based on your floss choices. You know, you can take, most samplers have, you know, houses, flowers, pretty border, an alphabet, and if you stitch it in reds and greens and kind of a warm Christmassy palette, then it looks winter and Christmassy. Or you brighten it up and it looks like a spring color palette. I think a great example is the Winter Has Passed that I stitched in January as my blessing sampler. That is really focused on grays and blues and greens, and I added pinks and reds and some really warm creams and brighter greens, and it really gave it a totally different vibe. So you can really do that with any sampler. Anyway, so I have been working on this. I love it. I'm really excited to get done with some of the border and kind of get to some of the motifs in the middle. But anyway, it's been really fun to work on. If you want to participate, it is not too late to join in. My kind of goal in my head was to get this done in May for Mania. But I got bit by the patriotic bug and I went ahead and did both. Like I said, I feel like I wasted a little bit of time on this because I was really unhappy with my fabric choice. But after restarting it, it is so enjoyable to work on. So I think for the next little while, I'm going to focus on this piece and see how much I can get done for the rest of the month, because we still have some time left. We have a whole nother week. My husband's birthday is next Saturday, but I pretty much plan on focusing on this for a while. So really looking forward to that. Anyway, if you would like to participate, we're using the hashtag MaryBoveeSal. It's MaryBoveeSal, and I'll have that in the comments below. Let me show you the floss that I'm using on mine. And this is kind of one of the things I talk about whenever I do floss conversions. So I will have my palette, which is right here. I'm using Ferris Wheel by Color and Cotton. Oh, this thread keep is from one of my friends. It's so pretty. Gretel. Toasted Marshmallow. Now, let me show you my greens. So I pulled 4 different greens. Now, they are very, very similar, but depending on the fabric I was stitching, I had several pulled. I did decide on Yuletide and I believe Tadpole were my 2 main greens, or maybe it was Mesquite and Tadpole. Either way, they're all really similar. But I have this here just in case I needed to brighten it up in an area. I have tomato leaves readily available, but generally speaking, I just kind of pick some greens that are really close, and depending on kind of how the floss variegation looks, I may kind of snip, you know, lighter or darker threads and use those depending on the aesthetic I want. My cream is Cozy Sweater. I have Hay Bale, which is a really pretty brown, and then my dark is Creek Bed. So that is what I'm working on right now. Alrighty. Okay, so I have a couple finishes, and not just finishes, but FFOs. So my first one is America by Emily Call. I've had this in my stash for a few years now, and I've wanted to start it, and then I just always had other things I was working on. So I made it a priority to get this started and finished. This is stitched on 32 count vellum by Picture This Plus. I did use my own Color and Cotton floss conversion, except I did add this dark blue here, which is also right here and in these flowers. This is a Roxy Floss Co. floss, and I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. I already put my color palette away for this, but I will make sure I put it in the comments below. This Roxy floss was a dream to stitch with. It was the perfect kind of a darker blue. It was really, really fun and nice to work with. So I was really happy with the aesthetic of the piece. It was so lovely. And then I just used some hand-dyed seam binding here to kind of make a little bow. I used a straight pin. This is a Lori Holt pin that I stuck in, a vintage button with a star charm. And I used some red chenille from Lady Dot and some blue fabric on the back that just has some stars. So anyway, really happy with how this turned out. This is actually kind of a bigger pillow for me. I was actually debating if I wanted to finish it in a pillow, or I have this frame, and I got this out of the clearance section from Hobby Lobby, and you can see the detail on the frame. It's really nice. And I've used this frame several times, and what I do is I will buy these frames. Like I said, this is a custom frame in the clearance section. I will paint them, and then you have like a whole new custom frame. This regular price on it was $24.99, and I got it for $6.80. And I think I need to do a tutorial on how I repurpose some of these custom frames. Custom framing is very expensive. I say very expensive. It can be very expensive. I opt for no glass in my frames, and so it's just the piece. I do have some batting underneath it to give it a little puff, and no glass. The museum glass gets really expensive, even though I love the look. That's just more than what I want to invest on my pieces. So if you go to Hobby Lobby, in the back, usually kind of in the clearance section, they will have custom frames that, you know, were either measured wrong, or the frame was maybe damaged slightly or something like that. And they mark them down heavily. So I was trying to see what maybe I thought was wrong with this. There's really nothing that I can see damage wise or anything. So I'm wondering if it was maybe just cut to the wrong size. But if you look, this pillow would fit perfectly in here. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to frame the piece or if I wanted to do it as a pillow finish, and I went ahead and went with a pillow. But I love it. It was really, really fun to stitch. Now, in one of my previous videos, and I want to say it was maybe in my was it in the Q&A video? I think it was in the Q&A video, but I talked about places where I draw inspiration from. And honestly, I draw my inspiration from a lot of different places. This one came from a shopping bag that I got at TJ Maxx or Marshall's or Home Goods. And it was a reusable patriotic bag, and it had bows all over it. It looked so pretty, and I was completely inspired by it. I went home. I knew I had the Emily Call pattern called Ribbons and Bows, and I pulled colors that matched the red, white, and blue off the bag, and then put it on the Ribbons and Bows pattern, and here it is. So really fun. The original for this pattern is stitched in pinks and reds, and I really think this is a testament to the fact that you can change the color palette and it gives it a whole different vibe. I want to stitch this in a Christmas colorway. I want to stitch it in a fall colorway, a spring colorway. And you can do the same thing with the quilts from Primrose Cottage. I stitched Christmas quilt in blues and yellows to match the bee stitching that they did. I've stitched the patriotic quilt. No, I'm sorry. I did not stitch the patriotic quilt. I stitched the Christmas quilt in a patriotic colorway. I stitched it in red, white, and blue on like 32 count ale by Picture This Plus. It was beautiful. But anyway, so just changing the colors a little bit gives you a whole different aesthetic. Again, more chenille from Lady Dot. This is called Rainy. It's a really pretty light blue. I used some of this fabric here on the back. And then this was something new for me. Oh, I don't have it anymore. It's back over there. I have some fabric from Sweetwater, and it has all these little printed labels on it. So what I did was I cut out this label, I stitched it on to the back of this fabric, and then I sewed the pillow together. So when I turned it, this was on the outside, and it just says authentic brand, handmade, made with love. I want to start adding little labels to the backs of my pieces. And honestly, I would have added the label to the back of this, but I didn't have this fabric at the time when I finished this. So anyway, next time. At the top here, I have some little pins, and then I have a little bow charm up here. But I was really happy with how this turned out. It's so pretty. I'll share the color palette down below. Anyway, yeah, just love it. So again, like I said, these are much bigger than my traditional like dough bowl sized pillows. So what I decided to do with these, obviously since it's too big to go in this dough bowl, I have one of the, they're from Hobby Lobby, but they're the big tiered trays. It's like 5 feet tall or something, and it's got 4 different tiers. These are perfect size for that. So I do have patriotic stuff up in those. I have that displayed in my living room, and then I have another tiered tray kind of right over here in the corner. I usually don't change this one out seasonally. This one kind of has little houses and stuff, some house pillows, and then it has one of the spring salt box houses that I stitched from Plum Street, and it has Thimble Blossom houses. I can't remember the name of that pattern off the top of my head. It's really pretty though. And then it has some of the bee stuff that I've stitched. So I'll take a picture of that. Maybe I'll put that at the beginning of the video so you can see it. Another small that I have, and I cannot remember the name of this chart, but it is from Plum Street, is this cute little Scotty dog. I love it. So it's just done in a really simple like little pillow finish with some, this is old like upholstery fabric. So not super pretty or patriotic or anything, but it works. So what else do I have? Let's talk about some haul, and then I've got some giveaways and some giveaway winners, and then we will wrap this one up. So it doesn't look like it's going to be really long today. So let me show you the haul I have. I had gone back to Prairie Moon Primitives with my mom. Was it last week? Maybe it was the week before. No, the week before was laying in surgery. It was last week. And we had a great time. Ginger is wonderful. It is in Wayne, Oklahoma, which is about 45 minutes south of where I live. And I got some really pretty stuff. If I can, okay, there we go. I have my piles mixed up. So I got Liberty from Brenda Gervais. And if you haven't watched Jessica the Sweetwater Stitcher, you need to go watch her video. It was really great. And let me tell you what she did. Let me take this out so there's not a glare. So what she did was she stitched this house and the flags on top right here. And she stitched some of the Quaker motifs here. And then I think she did some of the Quaker motifs and just had it kind of end right here. And so the other Quaker motifs are right here. But anyway, so this is her, essentially her stitched piece. So she left off the words, she left off the eagle. It was so cute, and it was done probably in a fraction of the time because she was able to kind of manipulate the chart. Now, which brings me to my second point with stuff like this. There are so many different motifs here depending on how you want to deconstruct a chart. If you want to just stitch the eagle, you can. You can make it into an ornament or a scissor fob or just a tiny little pin cushion for a stitching case or stitching box. If you just want to stitch the house, you can. If you just want to stitch the urn with the tree and the flags, you can. So there's a ton of different motifs that you could really put together to kind of mix and match and make things like this your own. I definitely want to stitch this. I don't know if I'm going to stitch the whole thing. I probably will. And honestly, it says where liberty dwells, there is my country, which I love. And I almost want to stitch something like maybe a different sentiment. But I don't know what it's going to be yet. So I got that. I had placed an order. I got this when I was at Prairie Moon the very first time. And I can't remember if I showed it or not. I'm sure I probably did, but it is The Earth Laughs. And it says The Earth Laughs in Flowers. And again, really similar. You have a house, you have the things on top, you have the little medallion here. This one has a bird in it. And it says The Earth Laughs in Flowers. So I love all the elements. I'll probably change the sentiment. And then I'm sure I've showed this one too. This was from my last visit, but it was the Forget Me Not Pin Keep from Scattered Seed Samplers. I love the blues in this. It's so pretty. From 123 Stitch, I ordered the Heartberry sampler from Bent Creek. I love it. I don't know what I love about it so much. I kind of think it's this kind of leafy border down here, but it would be so cute either framed or in a dough bowl, or what else you could do. I really think this would make a really cute wedding sampler. So you keep the heart, you keep the leaves and stuff around the edge, and then you could put a wedding date in numbers, or you know, a bride and groom's initials, something like that. But anyway, really versatile pattern, and I just thought it was really charming. From the D-Stash group, I did get a new Blackbird that I have never seen before. It is a Reward of Merit journal cover called Wild Rose. I thought that was really fun. So I do need to start something new for my Year of Blackbird. Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, had shown her start of Patchwork Pin Keep from Blackbird, which was part of the Circle of Friends Stitching Club from Silver Needle. And I had somebody loan me the chart, and I'm almost finished with it, but I royally messed up on my counting somewhere to the point where it's not fixable. My basket is off, and then my leaves are off a different way, and I'm going to end up restarting it. I don't know if I'm going to restart it, you know, next week or maybe in a week or two, but it's not salvageable. And if it was, it would be pretty wonky. So I'm going to restart that. Okay, let's talk about giveaways from my previous video. So my previous video winners are, is it these three? Yes, they are. Okay. The winner of A Stitcher's Garden is Christy Flanagan 122. Christy Flanagan 122. The winner of Need a Little Love is Love to Scrap 66. And the winner of So Lovely is Connie Kirk 8975. So I do want to give a big shout out to my friend April Jackson from Crafty Bluebonnet. She sent me a ton of charts to give away. Her charts are so cute. I'm actually probably going to stitch this for my mom. My mom is a quilter, and she makes all my project bags. And I think this would look really pretty in her quilting room. So anyway, this is on my list of things to stitch this year. Anyway, so thank you so much, April. And speaking of April, let's talk just a minute about her new releases. She and her husband is in the military, and she knocks patriotic designs out of the park. Her patriotic designs are fantastic, and she has 3 new releases coming out. I think she actually has 5 new releases, but the ones I'm most excited about are the patriotic ones. They come out June 1st. I've posted them on my Instagram. They are just awesome. I can't wait to stitch all 3 of them. I'm going to add them probably to this little tiered tray, and they are going to be so great. So make sure you follow her on Instagram. She's Crafty Bluebonnet Designs. She designs with her daughter Haley, and they are located in Texas. So April, thank you so much for sponsoring the giveaways. They are wonderful, and I appreciate you so much. Oh, here's one of her patriotic ones. Isn't that cute? Love it. Okay, so this week's giveaway, I have 4 things to give away. 2 of them are things that have gone unclaimed for the last couple weeks, so they are back in the box of things to give away. So if you would like to win Stitch Card Set H from Lori Holt, use the word farm in your comments. There are 4 different designs: a cow, a horse, a sheep, and a pig. These are all in full color. Make sure, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. I need to rewind a second. If you won one of the giveaways that I just mentioned, please send me a message on Instagram. Make sure you tell me what you won and make sure you include your mailing address. Okay. Now for the new giveaways, and I'm so sorry, I should have mentioned this a minute ago, but honestly, I usually have really great notes and I just kind of scribbled down a couple things today. So I'm not nearly as organized as I normally am. Make sure you live in the United States. I will ship to the US only. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you are a subscriber to my channel if you would like to win. And then use the magic word in your comment to let me know what you'd like to win. So the magic word for this chart here is farm. If you would like to win, this is going back in the drawing. This was March Sampler of the Month from Country Cottage Needleworks. If you would like to win this, use the word rainbow in your comment because there are a couple really cute little rainbows up here by the house. If you would like to win So Lucky from Crafty Blue Bonnet, use the word lucky in your comment. And the other one is also from Crafty Blue Bonnet. If you would like to win Twin House Welcome, make sure you use the word welcome in your comment as well. So, all right, friends, I think that is all I have for right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. We will see you next time. Happy stitching.